May, and it's the day that I move out of the house and move into the van. So it's exciting. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, feeling hungry. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I had a bit of food, and then fell asleep again for another couple of hours. Well, I woke up at 7:15, feeling absolutely knackered. It's quite interesting because because I've cleared most of the things out of the house and into storage in the van. I've been like sleeping on a 1-inch thick camping mat, roll mat, on the floor with a duvet on it and a couple of pillows. And the previous 2 nights are probably the best night's sleep I've had in about 3 or 4 months, which is surprising. Probably just because I'm kind of feeling more relaxed because I've got so much stuff done and I'm nearly there. And it's quite interesting being in the house with so few things in. It just feels so much more spacious, and when you think about minimalism in house furnishings and stuff like that, it feels really quite nice to like declutter. But all that clutter is now in the van, and as I put the last few things into the van yesterday, all I could start thinking about was how I could get rid of some of it. I can't really get much more in storage really, and I can't get anything in without taking that mattress out. So I'll probably end up taking even more stuff to charity shops, but I think it's not until you get going that you actually work out exactly what you need for the duration, and whether you end up saving it. But so yeah, my list of things to do for the day is to kind of clear out this bedroom of all the last things, get just the bedding and stuff in the van. There's bits of furniture staying here because Jane and Brian, who are in the house, are going to look after it in their spare room. It's just some kind of deal we've got. Do final sort of cleaning in the shower and the kitchen, and then be doing a handover to the owners sort of this afternoon or this evening. We haven't actually determined a time yet. And then I've arranged to stay at a Brit stop at a pub called the Star, which is sort of quite near Newton Abbot. It's about 5 miles from Newton Abbot, on the southern edge of Dartmoor, which means I can get tomorrow morning. I need to get to the gearbox and clutch place in Newton Abbot for 7:30 in the morning, and hopefully it'll be done by about 2:30. So I'll go off on my bike, probably go for a bike run. So yeah, staying in a Brit stop first night, and then I spoke to my sister yesterday. She runs a sort of it's called the Vale of Camelot Growers in Sparkford in Somerset, and it's like a small farm where they sort of they grow a lot of flowers, and they used to do strawberries and raspberries and stuff like that. They still do a little bit of that sort of thing, but they have a small sort of farm, and my sister's happy to let me stay in the van for 4 or 5 days while I get settled into it. I need to start doing work. I need to start writing the last report, get that done before heading to Rochester in Kent to go to survey the castle. So yeah, I'll be staying there. It'll allow me to have a crack at I need to drill a hole through the roof and put my internet in. Unfortunately, I've been with PlusNet, and I've been on my PlusNet, being my internet service provider in this house, and they are quite good. Their customer service is quite good, but because of the infrastructure around here, the service was pretty crap. And unfortunately, they cut me off 2 days early. So there are a couple of things I wanted to try and do, tie up some loose ends, and was trying to put a firmware update on one of my synthesizers, which wasn't going live until the 30th of May. And of course I couldn't get on the internet to do that. So, but anyway, I need a good internet connection for work in the van. So I need to, I'm sure my sister will have a ladder. So I'll be able to get on the roof and work out where to drill a hole and at least get the antenna in, and then I can get the router working at some other point if necessary. But anyway, it'd be great to catch up with my sister and her family, her husband and her kids, and chill out there for a little bit. Had a bit of I'm still waiting for this to be confirmed, but I've mentioned before about how successful our work had become over the last few years, and that last year was just overwhelming. The amount of work we had, just couldn't keep up with it, and we have trialled where, excuse me, other members of the Rope Access team take the photographs now and I write the reports based upon them, because I've done a couple of hundred reports now and I understand all the stone decay mechanisms and structural issues. And it looks like the company I do most of my contract work for are going to be happy to let me actually fulfill my dream of driving off in the van, going to the Gower and heading up the west coast and then to Snowdonia over the summer. And I'll be still working remotely. I'll be writing the reports, but I'll have gaps in between. I don't need to be working full-time, and I don't want to work full-time anymore. It's just, I'm just over it, really. And it does become hugely stressful. And if I'm trying to drive around between sites and then, you know, scatter all across the country, right up to the Scottish border, you know, it's just going to become unmanageable. So I'm waiting for confirmation on that today. And just had a reminder from my energy company there to send them a meter reading. So those other things I've got to do today, meter readings. But anyway, it looks like I am going to be able to travel up the west coast of Wales after all and head up to Scotland. So it probably looks as though I won't be able to do the Absol surveying at Lindisfarne Priory, which I was hoping to, because they want to do that quite soon. And I'm not going to drive all the way up to the Scottish border practically, or Northumberland and then back again in my van. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah, so everything's good. I'm gonna have a coffee, try and wake up a bit more, and then just get stuck into my list, get every last things into the van, and then arrange to meet the owners for a handover, and I'll be on my way. So yeah, it's all finally happening. So for anyone out there watching and thinking about doing the same thing, you know, it's a huge amount of effort to do this. And I think you just have to plan it out, you know, right from, you know, buying something like the Camper Van Bible and working out what it is you need in a van, what you're after. Go and look at loads of vans and sit in them. This van, there were a couple of vans I just sat in them, and as soon as I sat in them and sat at the little table, and you know, I knew that I could live in them. There's enough space in there, there's enough light, there's somewhere for me to work, there's a really nice chilling out bed area. You know, you have to work out what you're after and what you need, and then, you know, start looking for the van, work out how you can change your life and break everything down into steps and just keep progressing towards, you know, your goal. And you'll get there. So yeah, I would encourage anyone else to do it. It's not easy. It takes time and patience and a lot of planning and persistence, you know, but you can make it happen. So anyway, I better get on with my list of things to do. I'll take a few clips here and there. And again, this isn't so much adventure at the moment, but if I can do my Welsh trip, I'm going to be doing a lot of running on the Welsh Coast Path. Okay, right, the whole of the upstairs is clean now, cleaned, hoovered, washed the skirting boards and all that kind of stuff, done the stairs. Now I can finally take a shower because it's really hot and muggy today. It looks like it could rain. So I'll have my shower and then I can finish cleaning the bathroom. I've already had one go at it, but just sort of tidy that up. And then it's just the kitchen and the last few things into the van. I've sent Jane and Brian a message about coming over earlier possibly. And then hand over, got to tie up these loose ends with the energy company and stuff. They've just sent me an email to say, you've cancelled your direct debit. How are you going to pay for your energy? Well, I'm not going to be using any more of your energy is the reason I've cancelled my direct debit, and you owe me about 200 quid. So maybe you'd like to pay it back into my account. I mowed over probably 220 quid Southwest Water. So that'll be a nice little bit of extra cash in the bank. So yeah, just cleaning out, handover, and life. One of the things I've just been thinking actually as I've been cleaning is that, you know, I ended up coming into this house for a year because I had to leave my other place because the landlords decided to sell. And it's something that happened a lot about a year, 18 months ago. A lot of people from London and, you know, Reading and places like that all decided to move down to the West Country. And it's just pushed the house prices up and the rental prices, and my rent went up from 625 quid, and then you were looking at around 750 to 800 quid for something similar. And although I can afford that, it's just not money I didn't really want to keep paying, because it just means I'll never get a chance to buy my own place eventually. So yeah, and so this has always been a little bit of a stopgap. And in retrospect, it has been quite unsettling, you know, just knowing that I'm going to be here for a year and that I needed to put a plan into action by the end of it. And it wasn't always going to be vans, you know, that was one of the options, and that's the one that you know, became the what seemed to be the best and most suitable and most fun option. So, you know, when you move home, is it always, I don't get emotionally attached to places generally, but it's just a bit unsettling, isn't it? But as I was mentioning to one of my friends recently, you know, although these times can be a bit unsettling, as you launch yourself, cast yourself adrift into the world, you know, there are a huge number of options and opportunities for yourself. And by doing this, you do create a lot of opportunities for yourself to pursue and explore. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, I guess just at heart, I'm still just a bit of a dirtbag climber. So, what the hell? Everything's pretty much out of the house. There's the van, managed to get the parking space outside the door again to load the final things. I keep looking around and finding things that I've missed, like my calendar with all my work scheduling on it, which I could do with taking with me. But Jane and Brian are going to be here in the next sort of 10 minutes or so, I think. And then we do a handover the meter readings then into the van, and that's it. That's the start of van life. I don't need to be at the Brit stops until later, so I might just I might head up to Dartmoor actually, and maybe just go for an hour run. But I don't know. I'm just gonna make it up. I'm sure we're gonna be saying some goodbyes in a minute, and then yeah, make it from there. It's a very strange feeling. I think because I've got to get the clutch done tomorrow, it's kind of dampening the excitement quite a lot. I think after tomorrow morning, getting the van back and knowing everything's okay, that's when the excitement kind of kicks in, I think. But yeah, it's a slightly surreal experience, I gotta be honest, but it's great. So it's now nearly 5 o'clock in the evening on the 31st. I've brought the van up to Dartmoor. I'm about 5 miles from where I'm staying tonight at a Brit stop at the Star Inn. I'm quite tired now. I need to get something to eat. I was going to go for a run, but I haven't really eaten properly this afternoon because of the handover with Jane and Brian, and it's a slightly emotional kind of farewell to them. They've been lovely friends. But I will be seeing a lot more of them in the future in their van. But I've still come up to the moor. It's a beautiful day on the moor. It's really lovely and windy. I've got some of the windows and vents open on the van, and I can hear the wind blowing around the van, and the van's like rocking a little bit in the wind, and it's absolutely lovely. I was just thinking how, you know, this would feel in the winter, after a nice run in the winter. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill out here. I'm just gonna make a cup of tea and have a little bit to eat, and just chill here for an hour or so. I might go for a little walk, but because I have got to amuse myself for about 6 hours tomorrow while I get the clutch fitted, I need to go up on the bike. I'm a little bit far away from the moor. There might be a better option for me to head towards the coast somewhere, but I'll look tonight once I've got settled in at the Brit stop. I'll look at the maps and see what's better. There's a great bit of the coast path runs from Shaldon, which is somewhere I was thinking of staying in a free spot, but I think it'd be a bit tricky to get my van in there. But anyway, I'll have a bit of a chill for an hour or so. I'm probably going to have a little snooze on the bed, but I parked up in a way that gives me a really amazing view from either where I'm sat or where I'll be lying on my bed. And it's a prime little spot. I'm amazed it's free, but I think it's because it's nearly 5 o'clock, people are heading home, or the tourists are heading home for their sort of evening meals and stuff. So
yeah, it's not quite sunk in yet. What I've done, it was quite weird driving out of Exeter, knowing that I was in the van. I think it's because I was tired and the traffic was pretty horrendous getting out of town, and it just sort of felt a little bit not out of my depth, but just a bit uncomfortable with it all. But now I'm actually parked up here on Dartmoor, making a cup of tea and a piss, and then making a cup of tea and a bit of toast, and just chilling for a bit. It's amazing. I'll show you the view. That's Hamel Down, where I used to do a lot of my UTMB training. I just realised I've been awake since about 4:30 this morning. I just woke up early and couldn't really get back to sleep again, just with all the excitement of the day. And so I came up to Dartmoor, found this prime spot, and this is the view I've got from where I'm sleeping or snoozing on my bed. I did actually fall asleep for about an hour. Nice sort of cool breeze coming through the vent, and it's really nice and warm in the sunshine. The sound of birds singing and the wind blowing around the van and gently rocking the van, and I just fell asleep, and that was it. It was great. And I've just woken up to a message from some friends who live in mid Wales, who've invited me to pop by next time I'm in the area, and I always come through Raider, and they live kind of in that neck of the woods, so that's another really cool friend catch-up thing to do. So yeah, I think this is going to be amazing.